welcome to the Yanagida Podcast show. I'm with special guest. I got Angela Lee today. And Angela, thank you for coming. And, I kind of want to just continue what we were just talking story in the car coming back from Starbucks. We got an iced coffee. And for people that don't know you or hearing about you for the first time, how would you describe yourself?
I don't know. Well, like first and foremost, wife and mother to Ava. Even though I'm retired from MMA, I do still consider myself a fighter. Gym owner and founder of FightStory.
And it was incredible because for the people that do know you and they're like, the fighter and stuff, I was telling you yesterday when we were eating lunch with the family, and I was like, this is so wholesome. Seeing like the motherly side of you, and I was like, this is so different from, I'm like, whoa, this is so like, and I was like, wow. And it just, I was just like, oh man, we're going to be friends a long time. And, seeing all that, and so it's incredible because how did we first connect? Was it through FightStory? Was it FightStory?
I think so.
FightStory, yeah. Reached out.
But I feel like there's like many things that overlap, especially with the gym. You guys have come to visit our gym in Oahu too,
That's right.
But yeah, mostly I think through FightStory initially.
And like for FightStory, for the people hearing it for the first time, what is something that you want to share about FightStory?
Yeah, FightStory is a mental health nonprofit organization. I created it just last year, and in honor of my sister Victoria. Our mission at FightStory is, we want to, of course, advocate awareness for the importance of mental health in combat sports. But, bigger than that, I think just create a community, really like a global community, and champion champion a global community of mental wellness. And, I think a lot of people don't realize just how connected that mental health is to your physical health and emotional health as well. Like they all play a part in who we are. So it's funny when people say like, I don't have mental health. I'm like, we all have mental health. we all have a brain. Like, so mental health is important for everyone. And I think there's just a lot of like misinformation. So we're here to help educate more people, help to give more support for people who need it. And we are all going to need that support at some time in our life.
And it's amazing too, Angela. It speaks a lot when you brought in like people like Lisa and some other people to kind of like help answer questions and stuff like that. Like I think one of the most common questions that I remember hearing was how to deal with nerves pre-competition and that fear, which a lot of people I know watching have that feeling of, oh my gosh, I want to compete, but what if I just bomb out? And so what were some of the stuff that now with all these different perspectives you could share to somebody maybe competing for like the first time?
Yeah, I mean, competition, it's an amazing thing because it can really show you different sides of you, and like you get to find out more about yourself, I feel. But the nerves that come with competition, like I personally feel that they never go away fully. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The nerves just mean that something's coming, your body is telling you that you got to be prepared, getting prepared for something. And I just competed not too long ago for the first time back in a while, and I was extremely nervous. I was like excited, but I was also terrified at the same time. And had a lot of reasons to not compete. I didn't have to, but I wanted to, even though it was challenging. And I'm so glad I did afterwards. Even though I didn't get the result that I wanted, I wasn't so focused on the result, but more about the process of getting there. And I think like nowadays, especially in this world, we're so driven by results. But really, and of course, I mean, I've been a competitor. I know that winning is great. Everyone wants to get that first place medal, the gold. But looking back in hindsight, I just think if you focus so much on the results, like sometimes you can lose track of other things that are more important in life, like, your sport, or I don't know, your school or your work. It is important, but it's not the most important thing in your life. The most important thing is your health, really, essentially, like, and your sport and things that you do is just a small portion of your life, the rest of your life that you have to live. So yeah, I think it's, just lately for me, I've been trying to be more focused on like the present moment, enjoying that present moment, whether that be, feeling the nerves, embracing it and channeling it into excitement, into like, I feel like having different motivating factors besides the results is helpful.
Angela, and what you were saying about being present in the moment and stuff, it reminds me of yesterday because it was super profound when we were at the beach and you guys were digging your sandcastle with Ava and Bruno. And I was walking back from the other side of the beach, and then I could see you guys like maybe 100 meters ahead. And this was after you had told me something like, oh, this is also what, happiness, success and happiness looks like, like this, like playing and sand and water. And I was just like, I looked down at my feet and I literally scooped up a handful of sand. Like, I don't do that. Like, I was just like a kid, like grab the sand, playing with it. And I was like, huh, this is great. And that's one of the many things I was grateful for yesterday was like, kind of like a reminder to me, like, oh wow, like this is also really necessary for mentally. And like to like slow down, grab the sand, play in the water, and just get like pushed away, bodyboard, whatever, just have fun. And I don't know, that was just really wholesome. Just watching like the family dynamic of that. And like what you're saying, like I like that because if we're so what do you call it, result driven, like we could be like, nah, push certain people aside, push things aside. And then we look back, we're like, wait, what happened to everything? It's all
what is it all about really in the end? And that's what I was like sharing yesterday. It's like having Ava and you become a parent and you get this opportunity to help raise your child, like you get to experience like your childhood over again, but you get to do it like better, and maybe you get to like kind of heal yourself in some ways, like your own inner child, if that makes sense. Like I don't know, it's just really, really special. And for me, it's just such a privilege to be able to like see life through Ava's eyes and like the innocence and the joy of like the small things, and it just helps to put things into perspective, like never gonna have these moments again with her. She's just gonna keep growing. So to make the most out of each moment.
Nice. And you were saying like when I was asking about, how do you guys manage the traveling and everything, that she has a bunch of stamps with you guys, right? I was like,
yes.
A bunch of passport stamps, and that's incredible. So like since she was born, you guys have been to like all over, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I know you said Okinawa.
A lot of different countries, a lot of different cities. Countries she's been to, like Canada, Brazil, Japan, Korea, Singapore.
Oh, wow.
Thailand.
So pretty much at 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. And you said she's like gotten used to traveling.
She's a pro traveler. Like she's really, really good. Like I guess it's because we explained to her like the process of things, you know, like before we get ready for our trip, we say, we're going to be going on a trip soon on an airplane. We're going to be going to this place and tell her about what we're going to be doing there. And, you know, like just so she can like mentally prepare. And then we pack together and yeah, she loves it. Honestly, when she was a little bit younger, it was hard because she would sleep on the planes and sometimes it'd be like uncomfortable, you know, but yeah, she's gotten so used to the whole process. Like she flies better than us.
And she's very aware for 3 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like yesterday, she was like sleeping, and you're like, yeah, I think she's like, oh, nah. And I was like, oh, she's like very like sharp.
She is. Yeah,
I was
she's
like,
a smart
wow.
cookie.
Yeah. And so with that, like, I know Bruno was saying it inspires him to, you know, what he was telling me about the sponsorships and like the how he started the gym and all this stuff. And what are some of the stuff that you're looking forward to the second half of this year?
Oh yeah. I feel like this year has been really crazy. Lots of things have happened, and but you know, like the second half, I think we have some plans, but also we don't know what to expect. Just kind of keeping an open mind, and I think like as long as you're, you know, doing the work and you're doing good work, and I think opportunities will come to you if you're open and ready to receive them. But yeah, like things have been going great. Our new gym location has been open for a little while.
Pro City?
Yes.
24.
Yeah, we are in 24-hour Fitness Pro City. We have a really great space just as you walk in through the doors, and the energy in our new location has been great. We've been meeting lots of new people, and
we gotta come.
Yes. Yeah. So if you are watching this and you want to come and check it out, please, you're more than welcome to.
United BJJ.
Yes, United BJJ Hawaii.
Yes, that's exciting. And so that new location was 2 months ago, officially?
What is it, July now, right? So yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah. Never mind, 2 months. Yeah. Wow. Congrats again on finding that. And
thank you.
Yeah, that is exciting. You know, I just found it so amazing. Like we were talking yesterday at the beach, and like how you and Bruno have the parent hat, the spouse hat. Then you guys are like the, you know, professor coaches, and then you guys are running around doing FightStory and, you know, all this stuff. And how do you manage or balance all of that? Because that's a lot of different hats.
Yeah. And I don't know, for me, how I look at it is, you know, when I was fighting and I had Ava, we had to kind of like switch them seamlessly. So when I was like on the mats training, I'd be like in fighter mode, but then I'd have to tend to Ava, so I'd be like, okay, I'm still mom mode, I'm like fighter mode, and keep like turning these like on and off. But I think as time has passed, like we've kind of gotten used to, like, I guess sewing all those hats into one, where we can seamlessly change between wife and mom and gym owner and competitor, and it's just, you know, I think you shouldn't like limit yourself to just one thing. Keeping an open mind, and it's okay to be many different things. I think that's one thing I had to learn, because growing up, I guess I could say I had like a little bit of an identity crisis. I didn't know exactly, like, you know, when people say like, oh, where do you come from? Right? And then I'd be like, I was born in Vancouver, Canada, but I was raised in Hawaii. And then when I started fighting, people are like, you know, well, you know, where do you represent? Like, and then I was torn, because I was like, Canada, Hawaii, but we go by countries. And then I'm like, my dad's from Singapore, my mom's from Korea. I was like, I wish I could put just a bunch of different flags up there, you know? So I've always had to kind of like, who am I? Like I'm all of these things, and it's okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so speaking on that, like with the 4 different countries you just mentioned, like how did that work out when you were choosing at the time for fighting?
So for me, I'm really close to my dad's side of the family.
That's a Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore. My dad was born there. My grandparents are from there, and they've always lived with us. And for competition wise, like I wanted to represent Hawaii, but then that would mean I have to represent the US. And if I have to represent the US, I'd have to represent Canada as well. And it was just a lot of different things. And I was like, you know what? I want to represent Singapore. I want to like make my family proud, my grandparents proud. And that's where I feel connected to. And so that's where we ended up choosing. And like, I'm really grateful I got to represent Singapore on such a global stage.
Unbelievable stage too. Like, and speaking of Singapore, when was the last time you were able to go back?
It was probably when I had my retirement in September of last year.
Oh, last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Any plans to go back to Singapore?
I hope so.
This year.
My grandparents are there right now with my relatives, and it's a place that's like near and dear to our hearts. That's where Bruno and I met. So
that's right.
We hope to go back again sometime. It's just hard. That one's a kind of a long trip too.
I bet. Because what is that, like 16 hours?
Yeah, 16, long, 18 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on the layover.
Yeah. And I remember, speaking of trips, on the way back from the beach, we were talking about like how long how jet lag the Okinawa one was. It was like bang, work, go home, jet lag, and then that was incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, some trips are just really short, like in and out, and usually when we do go on trips, I hope we can have like at least a day or two to explore and hang out. But sometimes we just like in and out like that, and it's
on a mission, bang, yeah. Wow. And then, is the next competition already registered?
Not registered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
yeah. I just want to share.
No problem.
Yeah.
No, I competed at the Vegas Nationals, and I want to make it a point this year to just like jump in, throw myself in the water, and see how it goes. So I'm training for the next one. We're gonna bring a team to Jiu-Jitsu Con. Bruno will compete at the World's Masters. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting. And that's already end of August.
Yeah.
Whew. Was this in Cali or Vegas, this one?
This one is in Vegas.
Oh, yes. Very nice. Vegas. Yeah. And I know, and then right after American National, you were at the UFC fights with Bruno. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It's been an amazing experience, just being able to meet new people, make connections, and just really, really grateful.
And from your perspective, because you came up through one and like champion at one, and and what was like this, like the contrast with the UFC and one championships?
I think they are both great organizations, both similar and different, in different ways. And UFC has been around longer. So you can see like the presence that they have in the US. One championship, it was amazing to compete for them and being able to travel around Asia and compete in front of thousands of people. Like, I have fond memories competing at one. And it's a lot harder now to go there and watch shows, a little bit farther to travel. But yeah, I mean, there was a point before I signed with one that I was considering going to the UFC. I was 18, so I just graduated, and
crazy.
I fought 3 times in Hawaii, like amateur fights, and then we were looking around at professional organizations. The UFC had just opened a 115 division, and it was for the Ultimate Fighter show.
Oh.
Yeah. but you have to be 21 to get into the house, and I was 18.
Oh.
So I was like really bummed, but that kind of set me on the path to go with one.
Oh,
Yeah.
to one championship, huh? You know, that's one thing I love about our conversations is like we're talking about how things just intertwine and just eventually happen and what were someone like there's gotta be a memorable fight or two where you're like, oh man, this is great. I love my opponent even afterwards the fight, like it's great. Like what would you say that one or two fights were for you?
Definitely at the top of my head, it's I guess my comeback fight from having Ava when I fought Stamp. And, yeah,
oh,
and I defended my belt. That was really special. It was a journey to go through pregnancy, give birth, come back, and being able to defend my title. It was really special.
Because that was 2022. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And what was that process like? Like, because that's something very unique where you came back, and I can't imagine the voices internally, externally, and how you overcame that process, and then to step in there and fight someone like her. Like, what was that like? It must have been incredible.
Yeah, it was a lot. So coming in, I was very different because I was no longer just me. I was a mom, and I think Ava wasn't even a year old.
Wow.
She was maybe 9 months or something, but it was really special. I think being able to like give myself grace and practice more patience with like the process of coming back, like after giving birth, and then doing like rehab exercises to make sure like my body would be okay for training. And like I remember stepping on the mats and like everything hurt. And I was like, how am I gonna get back there, to where I need to be? Because my mind is like still remembering what I'm capable of, and my body's just like not cooperating. It's like, you have to like build back up. And actually, for all the pregnant athletes or pregnant fighters, pregnant mamas, like I followed a pregnancy and postpartum course. Actually, there's this amazing woman. She's created like a course that female athletes can do to help get their body back in shape after giving birth. So that really helped me to get confidence I needed to like step back and get back to training. But yeah, I mean, that feeling like when I step in the cage and I see like and hear my daughter like in the arena, I was like, okay, I'm in like mama mode, like like lioness mode. And yeah, I mean, she got me with like a really good body shot, and I was like, oh, I felt that, but I like just kept fighting through it. I was like, I think I said this in one of my post-fight interviews. I was like, that hurt, but it didn't hurt as much as the contractions I had with Ava. Yeah, it's no joke.
That's incredible. It's incredible because at Fairtex Gym, your guys' pictures are plastered all over. Like you guys holding hands, hugging,
really?
Everything. And because of not because of that, but one of the reasons is they really respect grappling and jiu-jitsu now. After that, they said.
Wow.
Yeah. And so like that's incredible. I can't believe you said that in a post-fight interview, though. Like, this doesn't hurt as much as.
I was like, yeah. Ooh, well, yeah. It was birth story to say that for another chat, but
and that's incredible because that was your comeback, and was that the last one? That was your retirement?
No, that fight was in March, and then I did fight again in September, I think.
Of
2022.
22, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And were these camps in Hawaii? These are in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because your early career was in Evolve.
Yes. So
Oh.
I kind of lived in Singapore for 2 or 3 years, from like 18, like 22. Me and Bruno moved to Hawaii in 2018, when we got married, and then we kind of made Hawaii our base since then.
Oh.
So yeah.
Now in Oahu, and we got the gym, and you know, I kind of want to go back to FightStory and like help promote that. Like, what is something that somebody hearing about FightStory for the first time should know? Because you know, contributions, donations, it all help, and you know, for people wondering like where does that go to, and you know, how does that how that might help them.
Right. So we're a really new nonprofit organization. Right now, we are in the fundraising stage to try and generate funds for our programs that we'd like to create and implement. Meanwhile, while we're working on finding a program sponsor or enough funding for the programs, we do have our FightStory videos. So we have started, I guess, some videos to highlight individuals and their journeys and the struggles that they've gone through and overcome. Alongside that, on our website, we have opened it up so that people can submit their own story if they feel inclined to, which the stories that are submitted are reviewed and then posted. We are also looking to do events, you know, when we can, either in Hawaii, on the mainland, or international. But yeah, right now we're really excited. We have a lot of exciting things in the works. But I mean, if you ask me, you know, when people hear about FightStory, what I would tell them is honestly just having open and honest conversations with people that you love and care about. You know, talking about mental health, checking in on people, like really checking in on people, and then checking in with yourself too. Because it's really easy to get carried away, and it's easy to kind of like be there for people, but then allowing others to be there for you too. So that's one thing that I've learned, and I'm still going on this journey, you know, with everyone, with all of you. So yeah, I think it's just really important, especially in the world of combat sports, but for everyone really. You know, we all have stories, we all have experiences that we've gone through, and I think that's what connects all of us.
I totally agree, and it's just amazing, like the light you're shining on like mental health, especially in combat sports world. Like, it's not the norm to share like, oh, you know, I'm a little bit nervous, and oh, like you know, it's almost like a stigma, like just shut up and just you know just do the thing.
Yeah.
And that's why like I just felt so compelled. I was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta support somehow and be a tiny part of this thing and what you're doing. And I don't know, I can't say enough good things, guys. So FightStory. How can people donate or give?
So we have a website, fightstory.org, and from there, we're actually looking to kind of revamp the website right now. So we're in that process. But on the website, you can kind of see upcoming events. You can submit your story. You can watch the fight stories that have been produced already, and you can make a donation as well. So we do appreciate, you know, any contribution that people can give. It all does go towards a good cause, and we're doing our best to, you know, fight the good fight for mental health.
Angela, this is good. You know, we could talk forever. Like just like in the car, we're like, oh, we're already here. And I was curious, like, there's so many things that I could see really light you up. What is something that maybe people don't know that really lights up your spirit?
Honestly, giving back. I love being a part of the community. I love helping to serve the community. And that's one thing that I had to like kind of learn and develop. And I think that life is just so much greater than just one person living their life, achieving their goals and dreams. Like that is important, but also like what's just as important is what you do with that. How can what you do and what you love help someone else? And when I was fighting, people were saying like, Angela, like you're such an inspiration to these girls, like you're doing so much. And it meant a lot to me, but it was still through like my own goals and like aspirations of becoming champion, staying champion. But like I guess it was helping to inspire other girls. But now like with the work I'm doing with FightStory, I really feel like I'm making more of an impact on people by helping to tell these stories, by helping to create these, resources and tools. It just feels to me more like aligned with my purpose and who I am. And I think when you can find that, and it's different for everyone, but when you can find that, that's like the true meaning of happiness. I feel like it's like finding something you love. It can also help others.
Angela, freaking in, man, bring it in. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, freaking great. Giving back. And I can just tell because, like, it's hard to explain. You can just tell. And it's just an honor, Angela, to be part of the seminar yesterday, to be small part of FightStory, support in small ways that we're very grateful for. And yeah, looking forward to what's to come. And one of the last things I like to ask is, when you see this fighting sickness with fitness, like what comes to mind? Yeah.
For me, honestly, I think mind, body, spirit connection. Because I feel like
mind, body, spirit connection.
There you go.
Yes.
No, but it's true. And I think like you're one of the people that understand that it is all connected, and you can't have one without the other, and they're all very necessary to live a healthy, happy life. Please check out this book. And yeah, I'm really excited and happy to be on this podcast with you.
Angela, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. Oh.